Okay. Good evening, friends. Very nice. Nice to see you. You guys have come on time. And today we're going to take a session. Yeah. Today we're going to take a demonstration. I'm supposed to take a class on a unit which gives you an competency and which will get you a qualification to a course, a certificate in Diploma of Project Management. And this unit is basically one of the many core elements which goes towards getting the attaining the competency or getting the qualification. This unit is called as the managing project schedule. Basically, what happens is when you are managing, when it's all about managing a project, it basically has got different elements to managing a project, and as such, if you were aware, there would be certain elements like managing cost, managing time, managing quality, and there are aspects to managing a project which is like managing a resources, managing your communications, things like that. So can you take your chairs a little back?
Yes.
Or something? Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So what I am going to detail today is on managing the project schedule. Project schedule, like a schedule is related to the time frames.
Yes.
So time frames, because it is a very important part of completing a project successfully. So with this today's session, what you will be learning is how you will be managing the project schedule, and by the end of this session you should know how to maybe create schedules, break up a particular task, a whole project into different tasks, okay, and then you will be able to allot times to those tasks. Then you should be able to kind of put a time frame to each task, and then you will learn how to sequence these tasks one after the other. And after all this, maybe you will learn how to use a lot number of tools which is used for project scheduling. These tools basically will help you to complete a project successfully within the time frame which is committed to the client. So there are various tools which are used in this for this as in order to do the scheduling effectively. I don't know if you guys have you heard about Gantt charts? Jasmine? No. Okay. Okay. Have you heard about critical paths analysis? I don't think so. Okay. Now these are tools which is a little requires a little analysis, it requires a little mathematics, but it is not very difficult to kind of understand the concepts and figure out how to get the critical path. So we will also learn all these things. So basically these are the elements which you basically will cover while I will give you the training, and I give you the skills and knowledge on how to manage a project schedule. So I'll briefly cover each task or each areas in the project schedule one at a time. Okay. So now, can someone tell me amongst you what is, say, would you want, how much, say if a project is requiring 6 months, will you, by the client, will you want to finish that project in 6 months exactly, or would you want to allow some contingency time so that you can handle some variations? I think everyone wants to have some kind of safe period. Is that on recording? Yeah. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is for any good project scheduler, you have to always aim at finishing the project or scheduling the project in such a way that you have some time as a contingency. So that is the first and the most important thing. And then after that, obviously, you should learn how to break down the whole element of all the elements of that project. So basically, you would be understanding what are the activities involved in that project. So what happens, a project can be a very big project or even a small project. But any project, say even if it's making a swimming pool or it's making a big refinery or a plant, everything is can be still broken into simpler parts or simpler steps of work activities. So the first task you should be needing to do is to break them into the WBS, which is called a work breakdown structure. So with big plants, you do these things like make a WBS and then you plant it, and you sequence them on a Gantt chart. So this is a Microsoft tool and software where you put the activities, list the activities. You give us early start and early finish dates, late start and late finish dates. Now late start and late finish dates, because if you start late, you obviously will end up late. So after putting all these maximum early time and the late time, when it is fed, the software itself calculates what is the possible routes to complete the task. Now the good thing about such tools is, like, if suddenly you have one of the tasks taking more time, so sorry. So what happens is, if a task takes more time, the software itself calculates, gives you what are the options, how you will go about it, and the whole sequence changes. So this is about breaking down the structure of the project, and then using or scheduling it on the basis of the softwares. There is one aspect about scheduling which is very important, and we may be dealing with that very in detail in coming times. That is about handling variations. The thing is, in any project, no one is sure what new activities might come up. Say for example, if the client is requiring some more work, this kind of thing is an additional work which you have not foreseen. So what happens is, then you have to allow this contingency will take care of it, but at the same time you should know how to marry this extra work into the basic schedule. So this is also one thing you learn as to how you will handle variations. So when there is a variation not only to time, there is a variation to even cost, there is a variation to quality. Say for example, if you are trying to do a lot of things in the same time, obviously you will compromise on the quality. So what we need, or what is required, is that the person should try to finish even the variation within the given amount of time by meeting the same amount of quality. Okay. So this is about managing the project variation schedules in the schedules. So is it 20 minutes? No. Okay. Now what I want to stress again is, within managing project schedules, you will also learn how to handle, make activity charts. You will make different. There's a schedule for even ordering materials, for example. Now in any project, you will require to either hire services. You will require to either buy materials. So what happens is, you have to understand the planning part of it. So basically a project will require you to understand different aspects of the activities. It need not always be about construction. It will start right from the planning stage. You will require to give some time to buying the stuff. You will require to give some time to procurement. That is, procurement is buying. And then you will need time to even get the designs made. Then you will need time to get the workforce organized, then put the things into place, and finally the construction. Then you have to always give some time to the quality and the documentation part of it. What we want to stress is, a project schedule is as important as towards managing the cost as any other aspect, okay, like the construction. Because if your schedule is correct and is tight and is well kind of outline, then it's very likely that you can finish the project within the budget, within the stipulated aimed costs. So the company can end up making some profits. Okay, so you have to take care about this. Now there's one more thing you have to learn about project scheduling, is that the project schedule, as you delay, as the project schedule is like doesn't stick to its original plans, it has a bearing on the cost. So the cost factor is the most important factor, as everyone knows, in a project. And the cost to any project depends on basically three variables. One is the amount of time consumed, the amount of quality that you give into it, and the amount of variations. So as I said, if you are getting into project scheduling and you want to become a successful project scheduler, you have to always learn how to follow the path, how the things are working on in the field. After you have put a plan into place, supposing there is a change in the client's plans, or there is some obstructions on the side, the job of the scheduler is to again reschedule the whole project, so that again everyone manages to finish the project with the variation in the same time. So it is like a continuous improvement thing. You have to continuously monitor what is happening on site after you have planned, and depending on what is happening over there, what the changes are, you have to incorporate the changes into your project schedule, and you have to modify it again, so that that project schedule is again passed down to the floor and to the people working on the site, so that things can be aimed and targeted within that new schedule, and finally the thing is complete in that time frame. So because you see, handling variation is a very important part of project scheduling, because many people have this idea that once they have scheduled the project, the project wouldn't the schedule, the time frame wouldn't go here and there much. But it's not a perfect world. So obviously things vary, and at many times it vary by a lot amount than what you have expected. So it's very important that a project scheduler is keeping the changes into account, allowing for some contingency, and works on the early start and early time finish kind of approach. Because if one activity within a schedule is delayed by, say, 3 days or 4 days, everyone knows that if certain product is not reaching the site by a delay of 5 days, obviously the following activities are also pushed ahead. So there are many people on standby and this and that. Okay, so you have to keep some kind of spare options, your contingency options, and these things into always you have to keep it in mind all the time. So that is a very advisable thing. Now I just would like you guys maybe to share your experience. For example, if you have handled any project, for example, Jagrup, have you even say making a cupboard or doing a small carpentry work, even that is a project. So what happens is, maybe you can share me experience, like when say you tried doing some project, has it always been that you went over budget because your time increased? Because if your time is delayed, your time is money. You could have done something in that extra time. So obviously you must have a lot of examples which show that if you delayed certain job, you have ended up paying more. So I would be happy for you guys to share me some experience, if you have. Your group, you have any experience? Where you tried to do something, it did not finish in that time, so you ended up spending more money.
I don't know how any kind of experience like that.
Okay, yeah, but obviously I think changes in the plans do have a lot of effect. Say the design, if the design is changed, it usually has a lot of effect. Say if the change in the expectation to the quality has changed, then there's a lot of but it depends on which conditions you are working in. On a small project, maybe it won't show much, but on a big project, if there is a small hold up somewhere, the following activities can be a lot costlier to manage and to allow for. Okay, now I would maybe want you guys to work on some projects later on, and maybe we will I would maybe give you some dummy project to try to work upon, and you guys can try to schedule the activities into for all that. So say for example, if say I ask you guys to make schedule a project for take up a project for say getting a swimming pool installed in your backyard. So can you tell me what are the activities which will be involved in this kind of project, so we can sequence that and prepare that into a schedule? Anyone, one of you, or you can suggest me any project. Making the house, for example, making the house. So what are the activities you think you would need to allow for?
First of all, the stuff
Yeah.
that the house needs,
Yes.
the labor is there.
Yes.
The land, the money, the
Yeah.
business.
Yeah. The land is there. Procuring the land basically.
Yeah.
These are basically the design part of it. But what you can say is procuring part. But in the same procurement, you have got something like procuring the layout of the house. So you will allow some time for that. Then after that, you would be allowing time to get the permits. Okay. So then things would come like you would be, say if you're subcontracting, they will obviously take care. But if say you are trying to help the job yourself, you would maybe want to allow time for obviously construction is there, but then after that the electricals part is there, okay, the plumbing part is there, you've got your tiling part, you've got your roofing part. So what happens is a good scheduler will try to break the whole activities into as many parts as possible, so that he gives the time to the minutest detail, and then you whatever you have forecasted for that entire project, you would maybe when the project is progressing and you try to put in the hours, you will find that you have finished the work in that amount of time which you really wanted it to finish. Because in a country like Australia, for example, if the project delays by say 1 month or 2 months also, that is a substantial amount of money. Why? What's the reason? Because you have borrowed money from a bank, for example, and if your house doesn't end up being made in that time, you obviously will be ending up paying more money for the mortgage. That is a simple example how scheduling is very important to plan your expenses. Alright. Okay guys, I'll be stopping over here. I need your feedbacks and I hope you have enjoyed the session. Okay.
ये स्टोरेज ही फुल हो गया था,
Hey, oh,
फिर भी
ठीक है.
70 मिनट हुआ है, बस 2 मिनट.
Okay, can you stop the recording please?
16-17 मिनट हुआ है.
Okay, the recording is on.
It's pretty much.